Hi everybody, welcome to the third installment of my Classic Country Pentatonics lesson series. In this third installment, we're going to be looking at how we can incorporate arpeggios and embellishments into what we've talked about in the last two lessons, which has included approach notes, enclosures, chromatics, and basic ways of embellishing our pentatonic scale. Now, if you haven't seen video lesson 1 and 2, please check the description. There will be a link in it to the playlist with those two lessons in it, as well as a link to my website where you can buy this tab and standard notation in PDF format of what I cover in these lesson series. So in today's lesson, we're going to be looking at how we can take this basic arpeggio in E7 and E9 arpeggio and move it across the fretboard in line with our major pentatonics. So we've got three basic shapes. We have this E shape here, we've got an E chord but within a C shape, and we've got an E chord within kind of an A shape. And this is kind of what we're working through when we play just our basic pentatonics up the neck and connecting them, right? We have and kind of see how we move through those. Now, if we break kind of those shapes up into arpeggios, we have something like this. We'll have, following along on the PDF, E, G sharp, B, D, E. So that's going to be 1, 3, 5, flat 7, 1. Now I move into the next position, 1, 3, 5, flat 7, 1. Up into the next position, 1, 3, 5, flat 7, 1. So that's our first kind of basic arpeggio. We've got an E7, E, G sharp, B, D. Okay? Now a little example lick here on the PDF will be something like this. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, and. A little slower. 1, 2, 3, 4, and. So to break this down, we're playing a basic E7 arpeggio with an approach note, as we covered in lesson 1 of this series. So E, G, G sharp, right? Flat third to major third. Arpeggio, up. So as I've mentioned before, we've got an ingredients, right? We have our major pentatonics, which is like the foundation, and then we have ingredients that we can add into it. So we're using two ingredients. We're using arpeggios and the approach note. So we have approach note and the arpeggio, okay? Now we're going to do an enclosure up here from above, below, the G sharp, A, G, G sharp, and we're going to go up the arpeggio, B, D, E. So we have approach and then enclose with the arpeggio. So and then we're going to do an approach and enclose, right? Flat third, major third, above, below, resolve. So our whole lick is using that E7 arpeggio. Now let's move on and work on using an E7 arpeggio with a 9 added to it. So in this case, we have E and then F sharp. That's the 2 or the 9. So we're going to add in the F sharp note in place of our E note. So we're going to have E, G sharp, B, D, and then F sharp. So in the PDF, we have E, G sharp, B, D, go a whole step above the E. There's our F sharp, the 9, and then back down to the E. We have it right here, E, G sharp, B, D, F sharp, E. And then right here, it's kind of high, but E, G sharp, B, D, F sharp, E. So that's going to be using our 9 in there. So we have this. It's a nice sound. So if we look on our PDF, we've got an example lick using the E7 with the added 9 arpeggio. It's going to sound something like this. We'll go 1, 2, 3, 4, and. A little slower. 1, 2, 3, 4, and. So again, we're looking for kind of our ingredients. We've got arpeggios, right? Just the basic E9 arpeggio. Then we've got a chromatic from the 6th down to the 5th, and then an approach, flat third to major third, then the 5th, and then the 1st. So we've got arpeggio, chromatic, approach, resolve. So one more time. Okay, so that is using the 9. Now this last kind of idea that I want to give you is what I call the Lee Arpeggio, and it's because I first heard him use it, and then a lot of guys since him have been using it into their playing. And it's a lot like just a basic arpeggio, but with an extended note in it. So instead of the 9 in this case, we're going to add the 6 or the 13. So if, following along on the PDF, what it's going to sound like, we have E, G sharp, B, and before we go to the D, we're going to go to the C sharp, and then the D, and then the E. So it's, in terms of the numbers of like the scale, right, or the key, it's 1, 3, 5, 6, 7, 1, right? The same thing. So E, G sharp, B, C sharp, D, E. And then right here, E, G sharp, B, C sharp, D, E, right? So that's kind of what we're doing there. We're adding in the 6th or the 13th to give it a little more color into the arpeggio. Now let's check out this example lick. So we're going to be working out of our C shape here. It's going to go 1, 2, 3, 4, and. One more time, a little slower. 1, 2, 3, 4, and. So what we have here is we're starting off with the Lee style arpeggio going 1, 3, 5, 6, flat 7, right? Up to the E, and then we're going to do a chromatic connecting from the 9 to the 3 or the 2 to the 3, F sharp to G sharp, up to the 5th, and then a pull down from the flat 3rd to the E. So we have 3 ingredients. We've got the arpeggio, we've got chromatics, and we've got the pull down from the flat 3rd down to the 1 to resolve. So slowly you've got arpeggio, chromatic, pull down. A little faster. Okay, so those are 3 kind of arpeggio ideas to get you going and using them into your country pentatonics. Now what I'd also recommend is try mixing and matching all of them as well. So instead of maybe just playing a straight E9 arpeggio, try throwing in the 6th as well, and vice versa for the different ones. Try those things out, and again, check out the link in the description below to all the PDFs that are included in this mini lesson series, as well as my course on the lead guitar style of James Burton. A lot of these things are covered and expanded on because this is all a lot of ideas from James Burton that have been carried on from him to Roy Nichols, Don Rich, Albert Lee, Danny Gatton, and all the different players we love. So check that out, and I will see you next time with some more country licks and how we can start bridging the changes.